moving on to Dr. Kylie Austin. Kylie is our president for Equity Practitioners in Higher Education in Australia. So Kylie, what does this all mean for equity practitioners? What should we all be doing next?
Thanks, Sonal. I think in terms of kind of what's next, I think we've all alluded to the fact that we've got a shopping list of 45, there's a shopping list effectively of 47 recommendations, rather than a roadmap. And so I think that we've got a really great opportunity over the coming months to really advocate for what we believe are the most important aspects of the Accord to prioritise. In terms of both looking at staff experience in higher education, but also student experience and things that are going to make a substantial impact to access and participation of equity groups. In terms of the things that I think we would really, at this stage, like to see adopted, I would echo Barney's comments earlier around the prioritisation of needs-based funding, as well as reviewing the help component. And I would strongly agree that we need to really reframe disability in terms of the Accord report going forward as well. In terms of other things that should be prioritised, I think anything that we can do that gets money into the hands of students in a cost of living crisis, I think will make one of the greatest impacts to student participation and engagement in higher education. And I think as an EFIA collective, over the coming months, we really want to take a really strong advocacy role. Not necessarily, I think, Nadine referenced that in principle, a lot of these things sound really great. But you're right, the devil is absolutely in the detail. And I think what we really want to do and what we want to work with all of our practitioners across the sector on is on the development of some good practice guides. So from our perspective as equity practitioners in the sector, what does a good practice guide for outreach and widening participation look like? What does a good practice guide for needs-based funding look like? And really capture the expertise across the sector so that we can be advocating and pushing this information up to the various working groups that are working on the next stages of the Accord to really inform what that looks like based on kind of hundreds of years of collective experience in the room. So I think in terms of what can equity practitioners do, I think, we've referenced in a previous Accord that in some ways this is our Bradley moment. And so I think we've got a role to play not only within our institutions, moving equity from the fringes into the centre, but we've also got a role to play in contributing and informing the national conversation and the steps in terms of what's next, in terms of forming up a higher education with equity at the centre. So I would strongly encourage you all to engage in these conversations in your institution. Write memos, write briefing papers around what do some of these recommendations mean for students who are studying in your institution and in your context. But equally work very collaboratively with us to help inform what does good practice look like in each of these spaces so that we can work, take that collective voice across the sector to inform what do the next 10 to 15, 20 years of higher education look like for our students.